Circumcision. If discussions about such intimate matters disturb you, then this is not the video for you. But I wanted to address the issue of male circumcision today, and I seriously, I'm talking about it from a personal perspective, and I have a question for those who have male genitalia, a question that I would like to know if this is a common experience or not. And also a question just for the general public to consider in regards to male circumcision. So here's my story in brief. You know, I was circumcised as a baby, but I was 22 years old before I discovered that I was circumcised. And what I mean by that is, I understood that there's this thing called circumcision, but it was, it wasn't something we really talked about. I just knew that some people were circumcised, but I didn't know what that really meant. And I had assumed until I was 22 years old that my genitalia was normal, was the natural way that it was supposed to look. I never was aware that it had been altered, or I never was aware that that line was a scar until I was 22 years old. And all my life, I've had to wear underwear that was like briefs, the type of underwear that is restrictive, that doesn't allow for movement because um, a section of the end of the urethra, right, is very sensitive, and just the slightest amount of friction against fabric will cause it to be very irritated and be very painful. So I've always had to wear restrictive underwear that don't allow for any kind of movement. Otherwise, I wind up suffering because of that. And I became aware, later even in life, that the reason for that is because I had been circumcised. And the natural protection that, would protect that sensitive spot from irritation due to friction against cloth had been removed for whatever reason. So my question to other people who have male genitalia is this, and who have been circumcised, do any of you have a similar experience where a certain section of your genitalia is overly sensitive, can easily be irritated, and do you suffer from pain because of that? I'd like to know. And given that as a possibility, the question then to the general public is why? I understand the aesthetic, right? But that's a cultural thing. It's purely cultural. And I know that some people are going to hop on and they're going to talk on about um, hygiene, but the reality is that's a really bogus argument. Learning how to wash oneself properly is just like learning how to wash anything else on your body properly. It's why so many men have issues, some women too, with washing their butts, okay? Please do so. And it's the same case there. So I don't think the hygiene argument is valid. It's something to consider because you're making a decision for somebody else that they're going to have to live with all their life, and you may not be aware of the negative aspects of such a long-term decision that you've made for someone else. Okay, so I'd love to hear from you folks who know from personal experience. Anyway, it's just that